So into this video, we're going to be talking about the kind of like very exciting firmware update for Leica's M11 Monochrom, as well as the brand new M11-P. So Leica not only has fixed some of the bugs, they actually added new functionality to the camera and usability. One of them being my favorite feature, this one right here that a lot of people have been asking, including myself. So in this video, we're gonna go through the release notes as well as showing you how you can upgrade your own Leica M11. Let's go. So basically, we're gonna go through all the release notes, and I'm also gonna show you where you're gonna find some of these new options in the menu. And let's start with the first one, because yes, and I'm gonna be reading these. So it says the function subtimer is a standalone menu item and can therefore be combined with mode single. So what this means is that now you're gonna find there, once you press menu, it's gonna be the third option down, right after lens detection, dry mode, and right there is going to be the self timer option. Now the second release note is actually pretty exciting for those that shoot at the studios with Leica M11, because right now we have tethering options right here. And it reads as follows: the new menu item tethering in USB-C mode allows tether shooting via USB-C cable in combination with the Capture One Pro and Adobe Lightroom apps. So very self-explanatory. You're gonna connect a cable directly into your favorite application. I use Lightroom. Now, the only problem that I see is that the USB-C port is at the bottom of the camera, on the corner right next to the battery. And there's a high likelihood that you can actually pull that cord while you're shooting. So I hope that SmallRig or maybe one of those companies that make adapters and accessories for camera can come up with a solution for the Leica M11. Leica content credentials, and this one is going to be only for the Leica M11-P, unfortunately. Now, I don't know if it is because of hardware limitations or just because Leica wants you to buy a brand new camera, but it reads as follows: Leica M11-P only. Frames can now be signed with content copyright verification, Leica content credentials. Now, this is Leica participating of the Content Authenticity Initiative, where you are going to be able to claim as the sole owner of that image. And the way this works is that this is going to be using cryptography, kind of like the blockchain works. So you're going to be able to enter your personal information in the camera, and that is going to be recorded in the metadata. So the moment you press the shutter, that image is going to have information validating that you are the sole creator of the image. As that image gets downloaded from the SD card into your computer, edited, uploaded to the internet, downloaded again, edited again, uploaded, and so on, all that information is going to be tracked. So therefore, there's going to be a tracking of who created that image in the first place. Now, I think this is great, and Leica is the first camera manufacturer jumping on board with a camera with this technology, and I can assume that more camera companies are going to follow suit. And the fourth feature talks about improved dynamic range in JPEGs. Of course, it's not going to be physical dynamic range that is going to be improved in the raw files, but if you're a JPEG shooter, this is going to be right up your alley. And it reads as follows: Leica M11 and M11-P only. Of course, this is only going to be also for color images. The M11 Monochrom is excluded from this update. Function extended dynamic range for the optimization of darker image areas. And as you know, the Leica M11 can actually produce darker shadows. Now, this is not a problem when you're shooting RAW because you have a great recoverability from the shadows. But when you shoot in JPEG, if those shadows are dark, they are going to be sometimes impossible to recover. Now you're going to have a mode that is going to allow you to improve the dynamic range, and the way you're going to find it is under menu. You're going to see JPEG settings, then you're going to go to this brand new menu option called extended dynamic range, and there you're going to have three options. Option number one is to turn it off completely, the medium setting and the high setting. Now, this is going to be great because if you want to shoot JPEGs with better dynamic range, you can choose from any of the three settings. I personally shoot only in RAW, so this is not going to apply to me, but it may apply to you. And let's talk about extended functionality, because right now, Leica, through this firmware update, is going to allow us to change the file name. And to do so, it's going to be super simple. You're going to go to Menu, Camera Settings, Edit File Name, and now you can change those three characters. Pretty good. Now the following one is a quick one, because now we have the off live view mode, not only in the quick menu when you press menu, the little square right there with the LV, but right now we have it in a second place built in the menus. Now to access it in the menus, super simple. You're gonna push menu, customize control, touch mode, and you're gonna find the off live view mode right there. Now this one is gonna be a massive improvement. A lot of cameras, have it right now. and it goes, the camera shutter will now be closed during a lens change. Now, you don't know how much I wanted this feature because Leica cameras, more than any other camera that I own, they're so prone to collecting dust in the sensor, and there's nothing worse than revealing an image in Lightroom and seeing all the specs that it could take you a long time to go and clone each one individually. So now when you remove the lens, the shutter is gonna close before you can release the lens, and it does it pretty quick. Check it out. All right, and firmware update 2.0.1 not only is going to improve the experience of your camera M11, but it's also going to improve the Leica photo apps. And the claims are that there is a faster connection with the Leica FOTOS, and also the remote control function for the camera via Leica Photo was accelerated significantly. Now, I didn't think that it was any need to improve the Leica photo apps. I always say that this is by far the best app that I ever used, but apparently we are gonna have a better performance, which is always gonna be a welcome thing to hear. And last but not least, Leica has improved a lot of the bugs left out in the prior version. Now, they don't go to say which bugs they have fixed, but I'm assuming that at least they have fixed the freezing issue that a lot of people still lingering with that problem. Never had the problem personally, but it is good to know that a lot of the prior bugs were completely fixed. Now, let me show you how to update the firmware, because some people may be new to the Leica M11 system and perhaps you need some help, so let's go. I'm gonna leave a link to the firmware in the description, but if you wanna know for the next time you wanna search for firmware update, you go to the Leica website, you go under service, under support, and right here, you're gonna scroll down to the system that you're looking for support for. In this case, it's gonna be the M system right here. And as you can see, you land to this page, you're gonna select the proper camera. In my case, it's gonna be the Leica M11 2.0.1. Now, be careful because there's also one for the monochrome. In this case, I'm gonna be updating my Leica M11 Monochrom, so I'm gonna hit download. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna format a card in your Leica M11 like so, and then you are gonna insert that SD card that you just formatted in your camera in your computer via the SD slot or SD reader. All right, and with the firmware in your card, what you're gonna do is you're gonna insert it in the camera, pop the battery back on, and you're gonna turn it on. Now, once you turn on the camera, you're gonna hit menu and you're gonna go all the way at the end where we have camera info, and right here you can see my current version. This one is firmware version 1.6.2. Again, this is my Leica M11 Monochrom. And if you have formatted the card and installed the firmware properly in the SD card, you're gonna see this option enable. You're gonna click in there. Now it's gonna ask me if I wanna proceed. I'm gonna hit yes. And do you want to save profile on the SD card? Now, what this means is that you are gonna be able to save older profiles that you have in your older firmware, because installing the new firmware is gonna wipe out the camera completely, so then you can re-upload them. So let's go. And like I mentioned, I'm gonna hit yes, and now the camera is gonna do its thing. Don't turn off the camera, don't do anything, just leave it there, and we're gonna see how long it takes. And once you have installed the new firmware update, you can actually confirm by going to the last option in the menu, go to camera information, and as you can see right there, we are at version 2.0.1. And this is gonna be the end of the video, guys. Let me know what other feature you wished Leica would have added to this firmware version, or what other feature you would like to see in the upcoming firmware update. So as always, guys, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later. Take care.